Fact or fiction, boys? Are Man City back?
No, they're not back. Back for Man City is being top of the table, or at least in a two-club race for the title. They're currently outside of the qualification spots for Champions League, both in the league and Champions League. They're not back.
I think they are. Like, the improvement is there. They're on the way. You can see Pep being a little less, like, self-harming on the sidelines. Like, he has a vibe to him, and it's like, I fear it.
Welcome back to the Rondo. Today we're going to be talking about Man City and Erling Haaland. Are they cooked in the Champions League? We're going to be diving into some of the craziest transfer stories of all time. Wrexham are back with another banger. And last but not least, we're going to be pitching Marcus Rashford to MLS. So let's get into it. Manchester City have been having some mixed results lately. You know, a devastating loss in the Champions League, which I love to see. And then coming back at home, beating Chelsea 3-1. What do you guys think about the results so far?
Well, they're fine in the Champions League in terms of qualification because on the final day, if they beat Club Brugge at home, they're through. That does it.
Club Brugge, so got that.
They've had plenty of chances here, so that's that. But for now in the Premier League, they're cooked in terms of the title race, and that's the only standard for Manchester City that matters.
Well, yeah, fair play. I think with City, I think what you've got to admit is that progression isn't like from nothing to unbelievable for them. They've got to improve incrementally. And even though Chelsea were beyond awful on Saturday, Man City showed signs of improvement. And I think that's what's key for them. To be honest, very unlike me to say that because I don't like Man City at all. But I think they're getting there and it scares me.
This is obviously Pep Guardiola's worst season as a coach. Do you guys agree?
I mean, it's hard to think of any that have been particularly worse. He wasn't great, was he, though, when he first came to the Prem? I think we all forget about that. So when first year he came to the Prem, then again, he did have, like, Mangala and Nolito playing for him.
Yeah. Exactly. But you got to give him time to kind of integrate his strategy and tactics, so that kind of makes sense.
Like
maybe
with Ruben Amorim.
Bad season at Bayern where, like, they didn't win the Champions League ever at Bayern, but, like, they were winning the league, though.
Every year. Yeah.
I could win the league at Bayern.
That's what I'm saying, bro. The Bundesliga is like, you going to compete with Dortmund. They're going to come, like, fourth out of nowhere. And then Bayer Leverkusen, I mean, obviously, they kind of sprouted out of nowhere, and Xabi Alonso's done a great job. But Pep been back in the Bundesliga, man. He had no competition. Let's be real.
Other than Jurgen Klopp, right?
All right, yeah, you know what I'm saying. But you know the Bundesliga caters towards Bayern. Like literally, Dortmund sold Lewandowski to Bayern, so it's like like at the same time, they're still the little broski. You feel me? They're always gonna be the little bro. Like that's just how it is. Do you guys blame Kevin De Bruyne for not being informed for a part of City's failure so far?
No, Rodri's ACL was holding together everything. Everything. So not on De Bruyne, again, at his age. I blame Phil Foden. It should be Phil Foden. He won Premier League Player of the Year last season. Where's he been? He's anonymous.
I'm telling you, there's some people in the Premier League, they're literally the media darlings. The likes of Cole Palmer, Phil Foden, they could do no wrong in any media, in the English media's eyes, they could do no wrong.
Mate, have you ever picked up a tabloid in your life? Listen. Bro, Phil Foden, like, he gets roasted every week.
I haven't actually.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Bro, he gets roasted every week for having about 23 children with 7 different women.
I don't think he gets roasted a lot to the English media.
Okay, I mean,
enough for how he's performing.
Levels like Marcus Rashford does.
Oh my God.
Raheem
Remember Raheem Sterling?
My goodness.
Bro,
Raheem,
come on. There's levels to this shit.
Okay,
There's levels to the scrutiny.
No, but okay. I think you're right in the sense that Phil Foden does get a bit of an easy ride, but like he still gets his fair share of stick. And I can't believe I'm sitting here defending Manchester City. But no, I think Phil Foden should be playing better. But also at the same time, like De Bruyne's got to step up, man. That's been a really, really bad fall off for him. I don't think people have been talking about that enough. There was honestly talk of him, like 2 years ago, a year ago, being the greatest Premier League midfielder of all time. No one's saying that anymore.
That is true. But I feel like also like for a guy like Kevin De Bruyne, he's been there for so many years. Honestly, I think a refresh would be great for both parties. And you can see that Man City have already started that process. You know, they've signed 2 young center backs. They signed Omar Mamouche. Speaking of that center back, Khusanov, brother, you weren't ready for that level, my boy. You ain't see that in Uzbekistan, have you?
Can I say the first thing about him before I let Bogut go in on him? He is the shortest 6'1" I have ever seen in my life.
Babyface. You got babyface syndrome.
No, but he just looks small. He plays small. And maybe I'm just projecting because I have to.
No,
but like,
I'm not going in on him. Like, I honestly, like, he wasn't ready. That's on the coaching staff. That's on Pep, man. Like,
He wasn't ready.
like, dude, I didn't even know how many trainings did he complete.
Probably like 2 sessions.
That's
and
not
one of
enough
them was
to throw-
analytical.
Did you
Throwing
say,
him in, yeah, a walkthrough, right?
Yeah.
And no, like, and throwing him in against Chelsea, like, that's not fair, man. And like that shot of after he had the mistake leading to the goal within whatever 4 minutes,
Yeah.
like that, I had so much empathy and sadness on his behalf. Just like, oh, this poor kid, like he probably wants the ground to swallow him up. It's like, oh, I got 86 minutes left, except obviously he got subbed out. But
yeah, did you see Pep said though, like, he speaks Russian?
Pep,
Like, no, not Pep, sorry. The kid speaks Russian and he doesn't speak English, doesn't speak French, doesn't speak Spanish. Like,
So bro had no communication
right,
at all.
exactly.
that's on the coaching staff.
Yeah.
That's on the coaching staff. That's not fair. That's not fair.
You know what's crazy? I knew you're playing ass when Nicholas Jackson got to pat you on the back. Sorry, but I have to go against you today, even though you're playing shit already.
I saw that. That's absolute game's gone though, because someone tweeted this, so I'm co-opting this point. But it was like Diego Costa would have smelled blood on him.
Oh, for sure.
Like, this is why the game's gone.
Yeah, I felt so bad for him though. Like, imagine another player on the other team really coming up to you and being like, "Yo, bro, like you had a rough start. Like I got you. You good."
Do you
That's
think?
crazy?
Do you think that's like the worst debut ever though for a Premier League player?
Yo, honestly, bro, if he didn't settle in after that 15-minute mark, like if he started playing all right. Like, you know, they got to win. So, but there's been some games where like some players have literally costed them team like a win.
Who you got?
Obviously, Ali Dia, Southampton. Like we already know the story around that. How he faked being a professional footballer, got subbed in for Southampton, and they had to sub him off. Or also Lionel Messi on his Argentina debut got a red card in 40 seconds against Hungary in 2005. So that could be another one.
That's
one
a
of the
deep
worst.
cut. I
It's a
didn't
deep
know
cut.
that.
Lionel Messi got a red card on his debut for Argentina. A lot of people don't know that.
For me, honestly, the Joao Felix one's pretty awful for Chelsea.
Oh yeah,
It was
it?
absolutely rubbish, and then he puts in an absolute shocker of a tackle. I think against Fulham.
Wait, no, he was playing well that game though. You remember he was cooking. He was cooking though. He was
sent off.
Doesn't matter.
You get sent off on your debut for almost breaking someone's leg.
That's why, listen, as a forward, I always say, stick to just attacking. Like, don't be trying to slide tackle 2-foot anybody. Like, I always stayed on my feet. You know, I got back on defense when
Philadelphia Union Academy, where what they look for in forwards is being able to press first.
Yeah, press first. Do not stay on your feet as a forward. Stay on your
You know
feet.
what,
I don't
Raheem,
recommend tackling.
absolute expert when it comes to help defense. Bro, I have made...
Traffic cop.
That's literally
or
me.
do you do the thing where you say double? That's like I'm the double, and like trying to say if I say it, the player's gonna panic and pass it away.
Yeah,
Exactly.
double. I'm like 30 yards behind.
It's like you shield him towards the better defender. You got it, buddy.
Speaking of, you know, past playing experience at my level, obviously I didn't play at the Premier League level. I wish.
Really?
But does Haaland look like he belongs at the Premier League level at times?
The levels of his general play is so poor, and not just today. I think his laying stuff off, living headers or whatever it might be. In terms of front of goal, he's best in the world. But for his general play, for such a player, it is so poor. Not just today. I think he has to improve that. He's almost like a League Two player. That's the way I look at him. His general play has to improve, and it will do over the next few years. This brilliant striker is fantastic.
Do you think he knew after Roy Keane said that? Do you think he knew that was going to be an unbelievable soundbite that would just bang on social media?
I feel like they do know.
Do you know that?
It almost
'Cause
feels disingenuous.
You think it's disingenuous?
I don't know. I wouldn't levy that on him, but that's just such an outrageously stupid thing to say.
I think
For Haaland to be a League Two.
Well,
like, come on, bro.
here's the thing, and I don't want to validate that actual point as much as the fact that I don't feel like he's improved in anything except for his finishing in 2 years under Pep Guardiola. Does that make sense? Like, is he a markedly better all-round footballer than he was? Like, is he kind of like the same player that City signed? Do you know what I mean? It's like, because that to me has always been the difference between very good, like very, very, very good and absolutely elite, is improvement and reinvention. And I don't feel like Haaland's done that.
I feel like it's just playing style, brother. Like, I feel like it's just what Pep Guardiola expects of him. He doesn't want him to be, you know, coming into play dribbling guys. Like, he just wants him to finish, and he doesn't need a dribble or like take anybody on like he did at Dortmund and have to take the game by the scruff of the neck, because Man City's OD. So for them, it's honestly just like, bro, get your ass in the box and score this shit.
Yeah, nobody was asking this question when they won the league, and he won Golden Boot and all of this stuff, and it was about how Haaland elevated the team. So this is just, again, that quote, what was it, 2024? Yeah, they won the league, right? Or they do. How many trophies does he need to win? Like, sorry that he doesn't ping the ball like Kevin De Bruyne.
You guys think that player contracts should be capped at 5 years.
So
Yeah.
With this Erling Haaland
So
9.5
this is
year
interesting.
deal.
This is about the Haaland thing.
Yep.
So go on, Mr. Transfer Boy.
No, I mean, I feel this way across all sports. This happened in the NBA. NBA teams were severely harming their future if like one or two of those deals are bad. You're just cooked for like 8 or 10 years. It's not the same in football, but it should just be 5 years. There's no world in which there should be a 9-year contract, particularly because it's stupid for the clubs. I didn't know you could talk about the accounting of FIFA fair play, and like that's why Chelsea was doing it with some of them to like amortize the fee for longer. But one, then the fee is still being amortized in 9 years, and you're still paying for that. But also two, if a player does really, really well, it doesn't matter if there's 7 years left on his contract. He's coming for a new one. If the player is
Bro.
it matters because he ain't losing a dime, nor should he. It's your dumb decision to give him 9 years.
Yeah.
But like, this isn't wise for the clubs. It's just such short-term thinking, and that's why so many of these clubs, particularly in COVID, you saw it, like how shaky the financial grounds are.
Yeah.
And the more deals like this, the more teams are gonna be risking what happened to Bordeaux, going into administration.
I mean, I saw that Haaland said he was like almost a bit uncomfortable with it. Did you see that quote? He was like, "Oh, I don't know," but it's like, shut up. I'm not having that. He's like, I'm uncomfortable with being unimaginably wealthy for 9.5 years.
I feel like for a player though, it could also be a bad thing to sign for that long because money in football is going up as well. So you sign
point,
this
too.
long-term deal. Like, remember what happened with Scottie Pippen at the Chicago Bulls?
Yeah.
He signed
Educate the English.
So Scottie Pippen signed like a long-term deal for the Chicago
8
Bulls.
years or 9,
It was like
that.
8 or 9 years, and he
Holy.
didn't get that much money. I think it was like what?
Whatever it was, it ended up being below market value because
The league grew so fast.
yeah, and he grew into like he signed it too early, but like he was somebody. He had a really big family. They came from like a very poor background, so I don't blame him for being like, I'm gonna take the
whatever.
security and the money. But then like 2 years later, he was like, I signed a deal.
Yeah, because 2 years later, the league was so good that he was making like worse. He was like not even the top 200 players in the
Yeah, it
league.
was something ridiculous.
Paid
Yeah.
players, yeah.
Well, do you know what's crazy though? I reckon. So let's say Haaland signed what, like 9.5 year deal.
Yeah.
What do you think in say 5 years? He's on what, 400k a week?
I think he's
Haaland?
on five. I think he's on 500k a week.
That is
half a mil.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
But what?
Can a
so-
League Two club afford this one?
But say like Jude Bellingham's next Madrid contract, that might be at more than 500k a week, and Haaland's probably going to think, yeah, I'm worth more than that. So I see what you mean. Like 4 or 5 years, 500k, you might have 6, 7, 8 players in world football on that.
Who are
sort of
around
money.
that? I think there's gonna
Lamine
be
Yamal, who else then is on that kind of money? Do you think?
who's on what, the range of like 300 plus.
Whoever Saudi goes for next, and whatever
Yeah.
the current hierarchy
Marcus
is.
Rashford's on 300. Mason Mount, I've heard, is like on 300, which is fucking insane.
Dude, he's at home though at Man United.
He's chilling, bro. He's chilling, bro. Like some of the footballers making this bread, it's like it makes the clubs must think like, yo, why? I can't believe we're paying these guys this
What?
much. I feel like for a guy like Haaland, how old is he? 24.
Something like that.
So what?
This will age fine.
It'll be like 33. Maybe there's like a term in that contract where like maybe by the 5th year he could like look for another club or have like a release clause.
Well, like,
inserted.
yeah, but I mean, like,
750k a week.
or saying like opt out, like that would like Major League Baseball. There's opt outs on all of these contracts and stuff. Like that's not how football works because it's all guaranteed. But like in baseball, you don't sign a long-term contract with no opt outs and then say, oh, I'm overperforming this, I want a new deal. Haaland could do that in 2 years. That's just how these things happen.
What I do want to happen is I want a Premier League footballer to not, or his agent, to not understand any of the finances and then do the Shohei Ohtani thing where he gets paid about half a cent for 9 years and then like 700 gajillion in his final year.
Who do you think is going to be the first player to make £1 million a week?
Lamine Yamal, right?
See that?
Like it has to be. He's what, like 17, going to turn 18. Barcelona at some point will find a way to auction off Catalonia as a nation, and his name will be Lamine Catalonia Yamal or something. They'll figure it out.
Catalonia presented by the Saudi PIF. But
Moving on to match day 8 of the Champions League. Every game kicks off at the same time, and it's literally annoying me.
the European mind cannot comprehend. Get ready to learn NFL Red Zone, buddy.
Okay, right. Can you explain this to me though? Because I was talking to a CBS broadcaster who shall remain unnamed, and she was saying that she is very nervous about the Paramount Plus coverage in which she has to work with 3 former professionals who cannot focus on one match, let alone 20 kicking off at the same time.
That's literally ridiculous. Like, I just don't understand.
It's-
What are they supposed to focus on?
It's, I don't know, man, like our attention spans get shorter and shorter, and stuff like, again, NFL Red Zone and CBS does the Golazo, so shout out to them. They do it really, really well.
Yeah,
MLS, Apple and MLS do MLS 360. Like, this stuff, this is like so American. And like, I am excited for just this match day, even though that, like, again, it's not ideal. I don't want this to become the norm or whatever, right? But like, hey, once in a while.
Bro, I'm going to be screen maxing so hard. I'm going to have like laptop, monitor, 2 games on the monitor, 2 games on the laptop, and I'm going to be playing Subway Surfers. It's going to be unbelievable.
I can't believe they have so many games on at the same time. But what are some knockout matches also that you guys are looking forward to?
So, I mean...
Or potentially.
Right.
We don't know,
so it's difficult, right? Because it can go here, there, and everywhere, and you've got like the extra game to factor into. But the thing that strikes my heart full of fear is that it is looking possible, if not likely, that Real Madrid and Liverpool could play in the last 16.
That's ridiculous, dude. That's so ridiculous. Like,
Well, this
you
is
literally
the
got a
drawback.
you got a final as a round of 16 match.
This is the drawback for this this format, because that would be very unlikely to happen in the previous format. But also, like, City, depending on how their group stage in the old format, that maybe they wouldn't have a chance to kind of come back. Like, that PSG game could have been it.
Yeah.
There's extra games and extra spots, right? But
Well,
ooh, that would be unfortunate.
This is the thing they didn't bank on, right? Presumably UEFA, because they were like, we want the big games early and then the best games late. But then what happens when your big teams, quote unquote,
Don't play well.
then you end up with like Bayern City or Madrid Liverpool in the last 16. And then on the other side of the bracket, like, shout out, I don't know, like Milan, who are having a good, they're having a good season, but you'll have like, you could just have one side of the bracket that's like really heavy with your traditional European powers, and then like Milan, Dortmund, and whoever on the other
side.
And it's just like,
And obviously, there's been some teams who have also been playing very well in the Champions League. Barcelona, one of them. Big win against Benfica the other day. What do you think about Barca? Because I think they're 4th or 3rd in the La Liga table.
so they're on and off domestically, but then again, they battered Valencia 7-1 this year.
Yeah.
This Barcelona team, I think, is fun. Like, my general view on them is like, yeah, those Xavi, Iniesta, Messi teams were so great because of the difference between Barcelona and so many kids coming through the academy. And like, obviously they spent a ton of money on players. The heart of it was a lot of academy graduates. And they got away from that recently, trying to be like the Galacticos with Real Madrid, and it's like financially ruining the club. And now you look at what is the best part about this team right now? The academy graduates. Like, so I love that mirroring. And again, Lamine Yamal to Messi, like, that's an easy comparison or an easy mirroring. So like, this feels like a throwback Barcelona team.
Yeah, that's true, but they're a little bit different though, in that they score goals for fun and they're really bad defensively sometimes.
That makes it more fun.
Was it 26 goals in the Champions League group phase?
I think something like that. They didn't explode.
26 goals, 11 conceded. Liverpool, for instance, have 15 goals, 4-2 against.
Right. So, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, what is that? Almost maths. Almost identical goal difference. But, yeah, Barca just like... They're kind of like a fuck it we ball team.
Yeah.
And we haven't had a fuck it we ball Barcelona in a
They
long
play
time.
like a fucking like ultimate team, like type team. Like, you're playing weekend league games.
Yeah.
Or like, they're the type of team like that. Like, they score so many goals. They score goals for fun. I mean, when you have Rafinha, Lamine Yamal, and Lewandowski, it's very hard to stop. We're seeing obviously Christian Pulisic also play at a high level in the Champions League as well. Do you think he could make a run and be another Champions League winner again this year?
I don't think Milan is good enough to be at the top of this. Like, I just have too many questions about them, particularly when you look at Liverpool, Barcelona, even Arsenal, like, again, even City, Madrid, the ones who have struggled so far. Like, you just always assume that they're going to come on by the end of the knockout round. So I just think that there's too many questions for AC Milan, but I'm going to be watching very excitedly along the way because Pulisic is that good. Like, I just don't think that the group around him is particularly there for a serious run.
Kyle Walker's a good signing, though.
Is
in my
he?
opinion. For Serie A, hell yeah.
Seriously, we're talking about Champions League, like,
Champions, I think that's a great signing.
Well,
like
I
Pep
mean-
Guardiola
Fine.
still said, like,
I mean-
I think it's a great signing.
I actually feel really bad for Kyle Walker because he's always a player. He's been an unbelievably good footballer
Yes.
for a long time, but there's always been this fascination with his personal life and his, which isn't great, man, but he had a really, really rough upbringing, like a pretty terrible family life as a kid. And then you just expect this guy who's had tons of money thrown at him to be like
The perfect human being.
yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't
I've
work
just
like
always
that.
felt quite bad, and I don't want to defend him being like a terrible husband for, you know, like, and having all kinds of issues on that front. But like, I've always felt kind of bad for him, and he's one of those players. I'm like, can we just enjoy him as a footballer, please?
Yeah, to be honest, I think a fresh start would be good for him. I think AC Milan, like Tom was saying, I don't think they're good enough to win the Champions League per se, but they do have some attacking players, and they also have some players to watch out for. Like, I love watching Pulisic. I love seeing Leao. Like, whenever they're in form, it's just fun. Like when AC Milan beat Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, like that's the type of shit you want to see in the Champions League. Like, let's make it interesting.
But like, I agree with that too. Like, I think that they can beat any of these big teams. I just think it's really improbable that would happen a few weeks in a row, because like I could also see the reverse. I could see them losing to Leo or Feyenoord. You know what I mean? Like, I think that they can play up to the best teams, but they can play down to the teams that they should be beating.
Well, that's what happened to them at the weekend, wasn't it? Against Parma. They go 1-0 down against Parma. Pulisic has to bail them out. Yunus Musa had a game and a half, by the way.
Jesus Christ. That was a ball.
Americans, am I right? But then... but it ended with the coach and Calabria fighting on the pitch. They had to be,
I've seen that, man.
They had to be separated.
Yeah. I seen that too, but that's how you know Kyle Walker's getting some playing time. You know that? He's probably watching. He's like, oh, the right back fighting? Bet I'm slotting it right there. We good. We're gonna do a rigged Champions League playoff draw. So you guys go ahead and select some games that you'd want to see in the next round.
Madrid, PSG. I think that's just always so fun.
That'd be a good one.
Man City, Aston Villa.
Wow.
So I was thinking of saying Dortmund, Bayern, and so I'm coming back to you with that. Like, yeah, that'd be great, but we do get to see it. I'd kind of want it further along in the Champions League. Like Aston Villa versus City, I think would be top, but I think I'd rather see the teams from different leagues. What about you, Raheem?
I would love to see Bayer Leverkusen against Real Madrid, just so I can see Xabi Alonso coach against his future squad. This is a great topic that we've been having and coming across. Are we too obsessed with football?
Yes.
The little intricacies of it? Like,
yes.
I feel like we're looking at some stats. People are looking at expected goals now, XG, and looking at so in depth about the beautiful game. It's so kind of crazy nowadays.
So you go ahead.
Hang on.
No, that's my fault for even trying to start. Like that, I got to know my teammates better. ISO, clear it out. Throw the ball to Tom.
Right. Here's the thing. Right. I do not care about your sporting director. I do not care about your set piece coach. I do not care about your assistant manager. I do not care about AirPods Al for Arsenal, who stands on the sideline with his AirPods in. Right. Here's what should matter. I'm a football boomer in this sense. Goals and who your manager is. Like, as a fan, please stop talking about form tables and expected goals and oh my God, Arsenal fans rooting for corners to happen and then getting to know their set piece coach and analyzing how their set pieces happen.
Yeah, that's a little ridiculous.
Shut up.
I'm not gonna lie, because as a footballer, like, do people realize, like, those are the most boring sessions ever? Yeah. Like, when you're practicing corner kicks in practice, like, those sessions are actually ass. Like, those guys who are doing those sessions, like, with Arteta, they could tell you, like, they're probably bored as because it's realistically, they're targeting one person. It's Gabriel, right?
Yeah.
So imagine if you're one of the other 10 people in practice watching this set piece, you're literally just watching other people practice the whole time. I don't think people realize, like, yo, even the players don't like doing set piece practice, and you guys are so obsessed with that shit.
Yeah, it's true as well, and the reason I brought this up was because I saw that Everton announced that Charlie Adam, former Liverpool and Blackpool legend, was their like set piece coach now, and it went viral on Twitter. And it's like, people were in the comments gassed, like, yeah, this is the guy we want because he had such a sweet right foot when he was playing football.
Left foot. Thank you. Thank you.
Nerds.
Thank you.
Nerds.
But it's actually funny because they had a clip of Charlie Adam taking he was taking a corner kick and he slipped and he hit the ball. And then they had to like give it like a what did they give it? Like a throw in when you mess up the corner kick. So it was hilarious that, like, you know what I'm saying? They're saying he's gonna be such a tactician at set pieces, and he did that.
Why do we care? Look,
I don't know why.
What I hate the most right now
go on.
is they're shoving win probability down our fucking throats in every goddamn game I watch.
It's ridiculous.
In case, were you wondering that scoring a goal is good?
Yeah.
If it's 2-0 in the 80th minute, you're probably likely to win. Thank God, broadcast. I couldn't figure that out on my own. This is just and well, show me your math. Like what do you? And then we're gonna use those numbers as if they're scientifically perfect. Like what are we doing, bro? Like just stop. I don't need it. Even the top speed stuff. Like that's nice occasionally. Yeah, Alphonso Davies is rapid. I can tell. I'm watching the game. That's it, man. Like
pass completion percentage, progressive passes,
oh my
goals
goodness.
and assists per 90. Like,
I get that
actually,
stuff.
that's my biggest axe to grind. Pass completion percentage is
I hate it.
bollocks.
I hate it.
I
hate it.
bollocks.
You can make backwards passes the whole game.
Do you know what? Danny
Dude,
Ceballos for Real Madrid is shite, but he is in like the 98th percentile. Trent Alexander-Arnold, one of the best passers of the ball in the world, and he's in like the 70th.
I'd rather when people are like, oh my God, like great game, he completed 97 of his 99 passes. I'm like, that's not good enough because you're not taking any risk. Or like it depends on what your role is.
But what
they'll say
position
that.
did you play?
What did I play? I was average white guy for my university team. So I played everywhere. I'm a central midfielder.
Reliable.
I take fucking chances. Move the game forward. Yeah, there's gonna be some turnovers. I don't want to play with a boring robot that's going sideways and backwards all the time.
What's your favorite transfer clause of all time?
Ronaldinho, AC Milan, 2 nights out per week. How much of a partier do you have to be so that AC Milan say, mate, you can only get pissed twice a week? That's amazing.
Milan, or is it his team in Mexico? It might be the team in Mexico.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
There's no way that they if he's signing a contract with Querétaro, they ain't putting none of that in there. You can go out as much as you want.
My boy.
No, the Dino one's excellent. Also, shout out to Luis Suarez for the alleged no biting clause. I think that's what they called it. They called it like the no biting clause, but it was just
they
like
basically told him, please don't bite people.
Yeah, but please don't do it, Luis. And then he did it at the World Cup.
That's absolutely insane. One of my favorite ones is that when Zlatan Ibrahimovic signed for Juventus back in 2000, I think this was 2004, 2005 when he was leaving Ajax.
Yeah.
He asked for like a super rare Ferrari. There's only like one of 25 made, and he got it from Juventus. They said, deal, put it in the contract. And I'm like, shit.
Well, it's the Neymar.
Shit, Bonnet.
That's
But it's the Neymar one as well, isn't it? With his dad. Like when he signed for Barcelona, Neymar's dad, who is a psychopath, by the way, he wanted a private jet with strippers and stuff.
Nah, that's a little nutty to ask the club for a stripper.
Well, I think
stripper-filled plane.
Yeah, I don't think it was like a written into the clause.
Oh,
kind of
okay, I was
thing.
about to say.
It's like Neymar. It's like 250,000 euros a week. Goal bonus, Champions League bonus, Ballon d'Or bonus, strippers.
What was it? Also, Dennis Bergkamp didn't want to fly.
Yeah, he was terrified of flying, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Absolutely terrified of flying. It's a good one.
I can't name the player of the club yet. It's something I can't do. There's a player who
Source, he made it up.
signing for
Trust me, bro.
signing for an MLS club, and he's an international player, and the visas take a while to whatever it was. The club figured out a way. You come to the country to do your medical and sign the contract, and pretend that you're on a visitor's deal to try to see if I could sign with this team. Look at schools for your kids. And he's like, okay, what do I say when I go to like immigration? This is before he's on his way to the airport. Okay, this is what you say. This is how you lie. And like written like that. This poor guy got randomly selected, and he had to go step aside with TSA. And apparently in the being randomly selected, they can go through your phone. The TSA agent pulls out his phone and goes, this is how you lie to TSA? And the guy was like, please call the administrator. I don't know what to do. They told me to do this. Oh my God, was this a mistake? All that. The deal ended up going through. The player has not been detained by immigration or anything, but like the poor guy got to, didn't get to go to exactly where he was supposed to go. He had to stop at the airport somewhere else, and so that was a good one. But
I love that there is how to commit a crime.
Yeah. Taking notes on a criminal, not but
Man, he thought you was signed to MLS. He ended up with a cavity check. So Wrexham played Birmingham City this past weekend. As you guys already know, Birmingham City is owned by Tom Brady, while Wrexham is owned by Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds. So let's get into the goal real quick. This is the Battle of FC Hollywood.
There's some potential here. Oh, more than that! Ollie Rathbone!
Honestly, that's a good ass finish,
That's a
bro.
finish, you know.
That's a good finish.
It's a finish.
Out of 10, what are you guys giving that?
It's a solid 7. I'm not.
Yeah.
Let's be a little bit more rare for those top goals.
Let's be real. As a top professional footballer, I'm expecting you to shoot the ball like that.
Yeah, and at least it's a good finish.
It's a decent finish, and you know what? Like, I'm glad that this game at least had some sort of moment of quality, because it would have been it wouldn't have been great for like the sport in America generally if you have like these two like quote unquote Hollywood teams and it's just a snooze fest.
Do you think at the end of the game, like, they text each other, Ryan Reynolds and Tom Brady, they're like, got each other? I don't know. Are they?
I don't know.
I like how we just asked the American. I'm like,
a lot of rich dudes, and they like, again. There's all the jokes between them. Like, that's all part of this is creating interest in both of these clubs. Whether they're friends or not, it behooves them to do this.
Nah, definitely. If I'm Ryan Reynolds, I'm texting Tom Brady like, yo, your team is trash, dog. Wrong investment, gang. We got it.
When Tom Brady is plugging his finger into the wall because he's a robot, as he's like, need more. This is how to respond. Ha 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 ha.
That's
Raheem,
class.
we need you to be a commentator, bro.
I would love to be one, bro.
Go.
This is Raheem's commentary. You right? Ready? All right, he gets the ball near the left. All right, take that. Give me that ball. All right, I'm gonna cut in, do my thing, put a little swerve on it, goal, finish. Celebration. Yeah, point to your head like you Rashford. Do a little thing. Number 20, I see you. Yeah, I love that. I love the low corner finishes too. You know, the ones where it bounces before it goes in. Go back. Let's run it back. Look. He cuts in. Look. Opens up his hips. Bump in. I love that. You see that little bop? You see that? Look. Look. You see that? The little ding. In. I love that finish. I love that. That's class. Fowler play on Marcus Rashford's career is over.
Well, there is an easy joke here about at the top level, yes, but he plays for Manchester United. Do you get it? No, I don't know if he's a Premier League player still. I think he probably is like best doing his thing for like Dortmund in the Bundesliga, which was a rumor for a while, or like Milan, obviously in Serie A, but I don't see him as like a Premier League player.
Foul. His career is far from finished. Look at how the dystopian nature of his entire career at Manchester United around him is what I'm saying. Like, give this man a fresh start, and I'd bank on him being good.
Okay, but here's the question though, Raheem. You are an American soccer enthusiast.
Yeah.
I think there is a world in which Marcus Rashford could play in MLS. Pitch it to the boy.
Yo, Marcus Rashford, you want to come to MLS? First of all, America, you already know you love coming here. You love flexing your chains. I see you and Jadon Sancho on the private jet doing your thing. So imagine if you in America long term, you could go to all the NBA games you like, be courtside, you know what I'm saying? Get yourself some baddies out here too. I know you're tired of the Manchester things. Actually, I heard you got back with your girlfriend, so let me cut that out. But listen, bro, America's the place to be. I'd love to see you play at MLS. I could be at Media Day with you. We can do some content, you know, chop it up, gang. So yeah, that's my case,
Media Day
bro.
content is the bit.
That's my
When you
case,
boil
bro.
that all down.
Marcus Rashford, welcome to St. Louis City SC.
But in all seriousness, though, I think Marcus Rashford is Premier League level, of course,
Yeah.
but not on that salary and not at Manchester United. I just don't think it's going to work there, and like his time has passed. And, you know, in life, sometimes you got to make that next step. He's been at Manchester United his entire life. He's been through 6 managers. He's seen everything at the club from growing up to being 27 years old now. Sometimes you need to change the scenery, bro.
But the manager did say he'd rather have like a 63-year-old on the bench than Marcus Rashford.
I mean, of course, but at the same time, the manager's going to look out for the best interest of himself in the club and not the best interest of Marcus Rashford. Just because you're telling me Marcus Rashford can't have an impact like Haaland? Haaland hasn't been playing good.
You're a Haaland hater.
I just don't like the fact that he's trying to hold the ball up when nobody's on his back. Like, bro, who are you squaring up against, bro? Just turn and pass. Brother, there's no one on your back. Who are you going like this against? But I think for him also, or for any player who's thinking about coming to MLS, it's also the fact that, like, look, you could come to America and just not be bombarded from the media and be a regular person and just
Get a lot of
play
money.
football, make a lot of money, and
Be
have
the
a good
man
life
at the
in
team.
America. Yeah,
Like,
be the man of a team.
Ricky Puig didn't do anywhere near at Barcelona what Rashford has done at United. But like Ricky Puig should be a case study for so many agents and players of like, hey, you could be a fringe Barcelona player or then go sign at, you know, whoever's 10th in La Liga right now and, you know, still try to be fighting to make the team or whatever. Or you go get more money than anywhere outside of Barcelona or United or the top clubs. And you're going to be an absolute superstar in this league and enjoy your football. Like, that is kind of the player that club should be targeting. And again, Marcus Rashford has done more at Manchester United than what Puig did at Barcelona.
I think
but more players like that should be coming.
Absolutely.
I think we also underestimate like the quote unquote power of anonymity, right? It's like if you're a massive European star and like everyone's been on your back for years, to just be able to go somewhere and be like relatively And yes, like literally, I was watching the thing about Steven Gerrard in LA, and he was rubbish for the Galaxy, wasn't he? He was absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
But he couldn't move in Liverpool or in England. But then in LA, he can just like
Go get a
hang
call.
out.
There was this, one of my favorite stories is there was a Liverpool fan that was in Los Angeles to come for vacation to watch Gerrard, and he was at a bar or a club or something like that, and he says that he was in the bathroom at the same time as Gerrard. The guy's like, oh my god, like Steven, like I'm gonna come to your game, and like Gerard's like washing his hands and goes, like when he's like, oh, I'm gonna come to your game, and he goes, don't mate, we're shite, and then he turns and leaves. And like that, but like again, in Liverpool, he wouldn't have made it to the bathroom without 75 people
75
following.
people
You know what I mean?
following him. Be
It was
like,
just
"Yo."
like one dude taking a piss and was like, holy shit, that's Steven Gerrard. Like,
Nah, it really be like that. America's completely different than anything else. Am I the asshole? Manager songs.
Hate him.
I hate them too.
Can't stand them.
I like the fans singing them, but when it's played on the PA like City did for Pep, I hate that.
It's a
think
little
it's-
much.
I think it's so dumb, and I actually really like.
What if they sing songs for the set piece coach?
I love that.
Actually, I love that. I love that. Because I remember there's this quote where, like, Jurgen Klopp, when he was about to leave, he's like, please stop singing my song at Liverpool, guys. Like, he literally said, I'm in love
tired
with
of it.
Jurgen and I feel fine. See the Scouse accent there? It was quality.
It was
But-
quality.
But anyway, no, he was like, please stop doing that. But yes, if you've got a song for your set piece coach, I would love to hear it.
Next, yellows for diving. Am I the asshole?
Normalize it.
I think- no,
it is normalized.
No, because it's not like,
No.
it's not enforced strictly enough. If someone dives, book them.
Book them.
No. If it's a clear dive, they do get booked. There is a world where something isn't a penalty, but it isn't a dive.
Oh, there's still,
I guess,
there's
yeah, that is
still
true.
a lot of dives that just don't get, you just don't get yellows for. I get it, like yellows in the penalty box are usually enforced if like you try and bait a pen or not try and bait a pen. If you go down with no contact in the box, you get booked. Do that all over the pitch. Just book people for diving, because I am sick. I am beyond sick of like there being discrepancies and arguments and everything. And if you just enforce, and I sound like an Arsenal fan now, if you just enforce laws equally, we wouldn't have these problems.
Related to this, the one that bothers me the most is this culture that has been created that defenders know if you go like this to them and they go down, they're getting a free kick. Please stop with that. Please stop rewarding that behavior, because I can't even shit on the defenders for doing it because it's the smart thing to do. They're only doing it because the referees are giving them the foul at every turn.
What about managers not being able to say what they really think? Amorim has actually been going against this, to be fair.
So it comes from the Mourinho thing, right?
Yeah.
Where he's like, if I speak, I'm in big trouble, and I don't want to be in big trouble. Top 5 football clip of all time.
Oh, for
We
sure.
can agree.
He has a lot of quotables, bro.
True, but this is like the thing for me is that it's like the anti-celebration celebration. Do you know what I mean? It's like almost fans are like, yeah, we need our manager to go in on the refs and say what he really feels. But now it's become the thing where you say, oh, well, I prefer not to speak because if I say what I really think, I'll be fined. As if for the fans, they're like, yeah, he's thinking the same way we
same
are.
thing.
He just doesn't want to say it. Shut up.
Weekend preview. What are some of the matches that you guys are looking forward to this weekend?
Arsenal, Man City.
Big one.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be boring as because those games are always
Hell
boring.
no,
And
those are good.
Arteta is terrified to lose those games, bro.
Of course, bro.
It's
But we
gonna be
scored some.
0-0.
Remember California's banger last
Okay,
game? Come on
fantastic.
now.
Do you know what it's going to be? Do you remember that clip of like Arsenal get the 0-0 draw and the Arsenal fans all go, yes!
Is that the game that Rodri tore his ACL?
Yeah, maybe.
The
Yeah, it
first
was.
match,
It was.
yeah.
But no, it's going to be 0-0 at the Etihad, and then my Arsenal fan friends are going to be so happy about a goalless draw.
So your score prediction is 0-0.
0-0.
Okay. You?
Milan derby. It'd be always great to watch Pulisic in these big games. It's a rivalry, everything else that goes with it. Let's root for fun. We'll go 3-2 Inter.
3-2 Inter. Okay. All right. My favorite game this week is definitely going to be Bournemouth against Liverpool. I love seeing Tyler Adams get 2 assists in the last match. Him coming back into form with Justin Kluivert playing well as well. Semenyo doing the Booker T celebration. I know y'all saw that. I love me some WWE references, but I'm excited to see Liverpool, man. And I heard some rumors that they were interested in Semenyo, so it'll be interesting to see how he performs against a big club like Liverpool. And it's always seeing Liverpool against playing against these kind of squads. I feel like Liverpool, they usually go down like a goal and then they end up coming back.
Win 5-1.
Yeah. So I could see the game being like AFC Bournemouth score the first goal and then Liverpool end up winning 3-1. But I think it's gonna be a highly entertaining match.
Sweet, man.
Yo, guys, thanks for watching this episode of the Rondo. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on your favorite parts of the episode. Let us know what games you guys are looking forward to this weekend, and we'll catch you guys next week.